Setup begins with the drawbar and the Y-piece. The drawbar is first placed next to the patient about hip to shoulder, and then you wrap the drawbar into whatever surface the patient is on top of. Once the drawbar is wrapped, you can see how the loop goes around either end and then can be pulled down to form a slip knot on either end. This ensures a safe and comfortable transfer that only gets more secure during transfer. The first half of setup is meant to be completed by just one user. Take the drawbar off of the device and position it next to the patient about hip to shoulder or center of gravity next to the patient. You then wrap whatever surface the patient is lying directly on top of around the drawbar, and on either end you slip the loop over each end of the drawbar, securing it into position to then be connected to the rest of the device. Once you're ready to connect it to the rest of the device, you're going to call in your second caregiver who's going to help by actually getting the device itself into position. Moving the bumper into the correct placement against the bed that you're transferring to. You'll then put the brake into the brake position and extend the strap out to your second caregiver. That caregiver will loop the strap around the buckle on the Y-piece. Depending on what surface they're on, there are two different options to give you some more length for that transfer itself. Once the strap and the buckle are in position correctly, ensure that the patient is secure and against the surface that they're transferring to by moving both of the positions to be directly next to each other and putting them both into the brake position. If when you start transfer, the device tilts and you see a yellow light go off, do not be concerned. This is a safety feature that prevents transfer when setup is done incorrectly. Please refer to the full IFU for how to troubleshoot around this safety feature. It's recommended during transfer that the second caregiver guide the feet or the head of the patient, protecting the patient against any specific scenarios, whether they have injuries, lines, etc., that make their patient transfer more unique. Once the transfer is complete, you'll restore the remote into the position on top of the device, you'll detach the drawbar and the Y-piece from either end of the draw sheet, and you'll put the drawbar back into position on the device. With the drawbar back in place, you're able to turn off the device, lift the brake from the floor, and move the device for the next transfer.